My hands still remember the grit of sanded wood, the sting of varnish that clings to your skin, no matter how much you scrub. 6 years ago, I poured everything I had, my time, my savings, my salint to a place I believed was mine, a sanctuary, a second chance, a symbol of who I was trying to become. And just last month, my family ripped it from me without warning, without remorse, like I'd never existed in the story they were writing for themselves. I'm Lucas, and this is how I lost the home I built with my bare hands, and how I took it back piece by piece. 6 years ago, I was 28 years old, a freelance graphic designer trying to keep my head above water in a small coastal town where everyone knew your name, but no one knew your struggle. My life was made of caffeine-fueled nights, dollar store noodles, second-hand clothes, and a relentless hunger to prove that I was more than just an afterthought to the people who raised me. My parents, Moran and Harold, owned a crumbling beachside cottage. It had been in the family for decades. They inherited it from my great-aunt, though from the way they treated it, you'd think it was an eyesore they couldn't wait to unload. It was falling apart. The porch sagged like a tired back. The roof leaked every time it drizzled. Windows cracked. Pipes rusted. The whole place smelled like neglect. They didn't offer it to me out of generosity. They offered it as a deal. It's practically yours, Lucas, my mother said, her voice sharp. Transactional, like she was haggling at a yard sale. We'll rent it to you for half the going rate. Desperation can make almost anything sound like a gift, so I said yes. The cottage was 5 minutes from the ocean, to the kind of spot where the salt air cuts through you like truth and the waves swallow the noise of the world. It wasn't much, but it felt like a promise, a place I could rebuild, make my own, and finally root myself in something real. So I got to work. I ripped out the warped floors with blistered hands, painted the walls driftwood grey until the color made me feel like I was drowning, then repainted everything in warm cedar. I replaced the rusted sink with one I found at a salvage yard, rebuilt the porch railing from scratch, swapped out the ancient heater that wheezed like it was dying in its sleep. Every spare dollar went into that house. Every design gig, every late invoice, every corner I cut in my own life to stretch a budget. It wasn't mine on paper, but it was mine in blood, sweat, and breath. In every detail I fixed, in every night I fell asleep exhausted from the work of resurrecting something nobody else cared about. My parents would visit now and then, pacing the porch like they were already calculating its resale value. You're really turning this place around, Lucas, my dad would say, tone flat, unreadable. My mom would nod in approval as she inspected the ceiling fan, the updated kitchen, the custom bookshelves I built from scratch. This'll be worth a fortune someday, she said once, eyes gleaming. I thought she meant for me. I should have known better. I have an older sister, Nora. She was 32 at the time, their golden child. Growing up, she got everything: violin lessons, dance recitals, a brand new car at graduation. I got her used sketch pads. I got a handshake when she wanted to go to grad school. They wrote the checks without blinking. When I needed a computer to design, they asked if I'd considered layaway. I never hated her. She wasn't malicious. She was just living her life unaware or maybe unwilling to acknowledge the imbalance in how we were raised. It was my parents who carved the canyon between us, and they never made any effort to bridge it. 2 years ago, they came to me in crisis. My dad looked like he hadn't slept. "Lucas," he said, eyes darting everywhere but at me. "We're in trouble. We took a $40,000 loan against the cottage." My stomach dropped. My mum stepped in, voice syrupy, but laced with urgency. "We're close to losing it. The bank's closing in. But listen, you've made this place your own. If you save it now, it'll be yours someday. We promise." $40,000. It was everything I had saved. Everything I'd built working overtime, sacrificing meals, skipping vacations, scraping by with the hope that I was building toward something permanent. But I trusted them. They were my parents. I wired the money without hesitation, kept paying rent, kept fixing and improving like the place would someday carry my name on a deed. I believed them. Last month, I got a text from Nora. "Lucas, I'm engaged. You have to come to a barbecue at Owen's place this weekend. Big surprise planned." I was happy for her. I truly was. Owen seemed like a good guy. He was a carpenter, steady, grounded, the kind of man who could hold Nora's world together. I bought a clean navy shirt, showed up with a bottle of wine, ready to celebrate. The barbecue was beautiful. Music playing, kids running in the yard, ocean wind curling through the air. I laughed with friends, hugged Owen, danced with Nora under twinkle lights. Then my dad stood on a picnic table, drink in hand. "Quiet down, everyone," he shouted. My mum stood beside him, glowing with pride. "We're so proud of Nora and Owen," he said. "They're building a life together, and we wanted to give them a foundation to start with." He pulled an envelope from his jacket, handed it to Nora. She opened it and gasped. "Oh my God," she said, laughing through tears. "Mum, Dad, this is incredible." "It's the deed," my mum said, voice triumphant. "To the beach cottage. Pour your future." People cheered. Glasses clinked. Nora hugged them tight. I stood there, paralyzed. The cottage, my cottage. My blood ran cold. The house I rebuilt. The one I saved from foreclosure. The one I poured my soul into. And they handed it off like a party favor. My Uncle Ray, bless him, said what I couldn't. "Wait a minute," he shouted. "What about Lucas? He's been living there for years." My dad shrugged, casual, dismissive. "Lucas will move out. He's had his time." My mum added, "He's young. He'll figure it out." I nearly dropped my cup. I wanted to scream. To tell them I paid for the floors, the heater, the foundation, that I saved that house when they were ready to let it burn. But I didn't. I stood there, heart cracking, while they celebrated betrayal wrapped in a bow. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Nora, double quotes. "Hey, can you vacate in 72 hours? Owen and I want to start some renovations. Not a call, not a conversation. Just a message to erase 6 years of my life. Rage surged through me like fire cold. Bright, focused. I called my friend Sam. Can I stay with you? I'm homeless. He didn't hesitate. My cousin's house is empty. He's overseas. Stay there. No rent. But I wasn't leaving quietly. The next morning, I called the crew. I want it stripped, I said. Everything I install. Everything I paid for. They came with crowbars and drills. By sunset, the cottage was bare. The heater gone. The sink removed. Custom bookshelves loaded onto a truck. Even the cedar floors ripped out, board by board. I watched them dismantle what I had built. And weirdly, it didn't hurt. It felt like liberation. I moved everything to Sam's cousin's place. Mailed the cottage keys to my parents with a single note. It's yours, as requested. Then the phone calls started. Voicemails, screaming, texts, furious accusations. You vandalized our property. My mum shrieked when I finally answered. I took what's mine, I said, calm as a tide, and I've got receipts. You can't just, she started, but I cut her off. Call the police, I said. Tell them about the $40,000. Tell them the truth. I'd love to hear how you spin it. There was a pause. Then she changed tactics. Maybe that money was meant as a wedding gift for Nora, she said, voice suddenly fragile. I laughed. A sound so hollow it echoed in my chest. You lied. You used me. And then you kicked me out. I'm done. But I wasn't finished. 4 years ago, I'd loaned them my old Ford truck. Still in my name. Still insured under my policy. They'd driven it like it was theirs ever since. One more call. Tow it, I told the company. Here's the address. Titles in my name. An hour later, the driver called back. Got it, they yelled, but the paperwork shut him up. I don't revel in the rage that got me through those days. But I don't regret any of it either. They didn't just steal a house. They stole my trust, my security, my belief in the idea that family means something unconditional. So I took back what was mine. Now I'm living in a new place, rebuilding with the same hands, the same grit, the same stubborn hope. But this time, I'm building for me and me, by alone. And every morning, I ask myself one question. What do you become when the people who were supposed to protect you are the ones who broke you? I'm finding out, and I'm not looking back. Have you ever had to fight for what's yours? Tell me in the comments.